Good morning to you. Good morning, friends. Good morning, friends. We're just coming a little bit, we're coming in hot. We're cleared hot this morning. And here's our good friend. We're starting out this morning with a little reel from our good friend Izzy. And that's kind of cool to watch him doing his thing because he's just a fun dude to be around and be watching. So here he is catching fish with us in the morning. There you go.
Look at that beauty.
Look at that beauty. I love how he shares fish with us in the morning, so it's pretty cool. So good morning. Who do we have? Hey, good morning, Kevin. How are you this morning, Kevin? I like hearing good news and all that stuff. So it's great. We're tuned up and ready to go. And so what I like to do is I usually like to, when I have the strap on the guitar, you can see how it's coming all the way around, but what I like to do is I like to take the piece that's off right here, and I don't like to, it's a lot easier for me to reach for this one. So here's a really quick tip that I've been using for a long time. So straps on the guitar, instead of doing this and trying to mess around with my hair and risk injuring my hair, what I like to do is I like to take it off like this, because you never know really how much room you're going to have, and then you can control the guitar, you can control handling the guitar right here, you can do everything you need right there, just like that, by moving that strap that way. So anyway, that's one of the things that I do frequently with the guitar. And another thing that I'd like to do frequently with the guitar is you can see the bass over there. Oh, and this little china closet from Michigan with all my microphones in it and all kinds of other stuff. So that's an old Grand Rapids rig. That's made out of unobtainium. They don't make those anymore. It's got one of the old nickel Washington heads in it, so you know it's authentic. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. I don't know, what do you think? Friday, it's Happy Friday, so are we going to take it easy on ourselves? I think not. So we're starting with a nice, is it too early to do fives? Maybe let's start with fours. We're at 80 beats per minute and we're just warming up together this morning. Just me and my guitar, always in the same mood. I'm mostly flesh and bone and he's mostly wood. He never does grow impatient for the changes that I don't know. You can't get to heaven, boy, I don't want to go. So here's fingers 2 and 3 on frets 10 and 12. Yeah, we're doing the old 2 fret spread, the 2 finger Rooney. Yeah, it's pretty simple. Very simple approach to life guitar practice. So, you know, I don't know. How was your day? Everything good? You know, everything good in the neighborhood? And I'm referring to the guitar neighborhood. Of course, I'm not looking for any of the real world stuff. I'm just looking for the guitar neighborhood narrative here. That's all. Things good in the neighborhood. You know, remember the old Hood commercials? The milk got milk. You know, you can feel good about Hood. That's what I love those. There was a Fish song, the Fish rock band, experimental rock band, did a song called Harry Hood, or I think it was Harry Hood. And then so they do this jam, and then all of a sudden they break into this. There's a period of like build up, and they build and build and build to the point where they're singing that old anthem. You know, you can feel good about Hood. You can feel good good about hood. And it's just a remarkable experience to watch all of those, you know, Gen X minds sort of wake up, you know, that were drinking milk in their juvenile years. Yeah, because it really resonates. Sometimes those songs really do a nice job capturing a moment, you know, a moment that might be fleeting and we don't realize it. So any of you working on songwriting at all? I'm kind of curious about that. I'd love to hear more about songwriting. So if you're working songs, if you have questions about anything like that, you're more than welcome to address that here. But I'm trying to keep it sort of specific to the warm-up. And who's in the house here? We've got Kevin's here, good morning. Mark is here, good morning. And Kevin, oh good. Hugh, good. Mark, he's got Robbie's in the house. And Mark. And we had Jess Lee King. What kind of acoustic? Hey, that's a good question. It's the old Martin. It's an old Martin DX2E, and by old I mean a year and a half, 2 years, you know, it's not that old. But let's go ahead and warm up with fingers 2 and 3 and 4 on frets 10, 11, and 12, and then we're kind of moving down. We're just kind of moving down. We're descending our way into the depths. I think Dante will be our guide today, all the way down to the ninth ring. It's always good to have a traveling companion. I enjoy my dog as a traveling companion. We have a lightweight crew today, so yeah, I want to get myself a Martin. Oh, so you're still here, Jessie Lee. I don't blame you. I think it's a good idea to, you know, the theory here being, you know, get one good acoustic, you know, one good guitar. And by good guitar, I don't mean you have to spend, you know, $600, $700, $800. If you have a good guitar that's tuned up, set up well, and that you like the sound of, even if you don't like the sound of an instrument, it's still worth getting to know that instrument, because there are songs in that instrument that won't come out of other guitars. Do you know what I mean? I have friends who are songwriters who talk about guitars like that. Every guitar has different songs in it. I don't know if you know, and if you can relate to what I'm saying about it. But it is an interesting phenomenon that the guitars might have songs in them. But what we're doing here, Jesse, so if you're still here, I don't know if you're still here, but what we are doing here every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. is a morning ritual for guitar growth. And we started last year. If this is your first time here, I wanted to welcome you. And we do a half hour just warming up with the guitar, running through the basic sort of like bare minimum standards to at least maintain and experience growth on the guitar. And if you are really after it, I've had a lot of people pay me a lot of money to help them learn the guitar over the years. I've not to toot my own horn, but just to qualify what I have accomplished in my experience. I've made $1 million with the guitar. You know what I mean? It took me 300 years to do it, but I did it, by golly. But it's one of those things that you gotta really want, and it's really easy now. It's easier now more than ever. Let's do the 4-finger exercise. 1, 2, here we go. And of course, if this is too slow for you, you can go faster. If this is too fast for you, you can go slower. So for example, you could break the beat, each click, down in 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Or even one attack, but I'm going to maintain my relationship with 4 attacks per beat this morning, and we'll continue that way. Yeah. All right, Jesse, I have several $1,000 electric guitars like Charvel. Yeah, I love the Charvel. Man, I love those Charvel guitars. Those are exciting. And Jackson's, yeah, very exciting. Fender American Strat, the original standards, but no good acoustic. Okay. I think that's a pretty fun journey to be on, right? To go to as many shops as you can and get the hands on as many acoustic guitars as you can. You know, set a budget, play the guitars only within the budget, and then play the guitars under that budget too, you know what I mean? Play a bunch of guitars. You could play the guitars that are over budget just to get some perspective, but you don't want to create a situation for disappointment, right? But I remember the journey I haven't purchased a guitar. I have a few guitars that I kind of sitting, you know, I just acquire guitars here and there. I've got a beautiful old antique 1930s K. It's a lap steel guitar coming. Really looking forward to, you know, doing something with that. I don't know, do you guys have dobros too? I mean, are you interested in any dobro session work? Because I do play a little bit of dobro too, you know what I mean? It's just, I think we could start maybe exploring that a little bit, you know, to see what happens. But it's not a lesson necessarily. This is an opportunity for us to get together in the morning and continue to work on building ourselves up with good posture. So I just straightened my back if you didn't notice. And I'm working on good quality breath. And I'm also coming back to 1, 2, 3, 4 and then kicking that first finger back. This is called the kicks. I refer to this exercise as the kickstand exercise. And we're in position number 9 where the first finger stretch basically is where we start. Oh, hey, here's a guitar luthier right here, Jesse Lee King. We have a guitar luthier right here in the live chat. So her name is Jill Bourgeois. And if you're interested in, I don't know if she has items for sale, but I do know that she's a guitar luthier, and it's a good idea to maybe talk with a guitar luthier if you get a chance, wondering about, you know, what to look for in an acoustic guitar. So if you're serious about it, if this is like a real conversation, then the journey is really interesting, a really fun journey. It's what we live for. It brings newness and revitalizes an otherwise potentially doomed approach to the guitar. So yeah, I know. You're not the only one who feels that. Everybody feels that. What do we do when we feel like, oh, I am horrible at the guitar. I don't know why I even play the guitar. Will I ever amount to anything on the guitar? And I think probably that's I guess that's probably a deeper problem than wondering about guitar, of course. But I've heard that hundreds of times, and it's probably a good idea to know to know that you're loved too. You are loved too, and it's worth every penny. If you feel like it's time to take a break from the guitar, take a break from the guitar. You know, it's your life. You're the one making the decisions. You know what your decisions are going to yield for circumstances, you know. And you're an adult maybe, and you know what consequences are. So, you know, if you want to take a month or two off and just go out and listen to waterfalls, to get refreshment and to be reinvigorating, or you find an adaptive reuse for your once guitar practitioner person, you can find other things to do, no problem. Now the question is, are we wanting to build this into a profession or a pastime, or do I want to become, you know, an enthusiast? What is my goal? So I think the goals are super important to revisit occasionally, and I know we haven't talked about those for some time. Yeah, there's some Chris Stapleton, some Mr. Stapleton in there somewhere probably. There's, you know, it's always fun to just break from the morning ritual and play a couple chords and cut loose for a moment. But then remember, we've got to come back to it, because this half hour is scheduled for warm-up, right? The whole purpose of being here is to maximize our warm-up potential, right? Yeah. If you wonder why not ever picked up an art, you're probably an artist. You know, I don't know if you guys know Alex Honnold, Mr. Honnold. All right, so that's Mr. Honnold is climbing a skyscraper in Taiwan tonight, live on Netflix, free soloing, and he's just a madman. I can't decide if I'm going to watch it live or if I'm going to wait. And just see whether he survives it or not. I don't really want to watch someone peel off a building, you know what I mean? I'm not really that excited about television, you know. But he did climb El Capitan up over the nose in a record free solo, so he's a professional, maybe a little bit, he's a professional climber, but he's exceeding that cap of professionalism, I think. And I'm not sure doctors and psychologists and, you know, peers and colleagues look at what he's doing as something other than professional, and it's hard. I think a lot of us try to reconcile and try to understand why it is people like Mr. Honnold do what they do. Why do they climb? Why do they free solo a tower in Taiwan? Why do they free climb it? Why do they climb Mount Everest? You know, why do people climb it? Well, the answer is because it's there, and it's because they can. So, I mean, it's not that big a stretch, really, right? It's shape number 3, up and down the neck. You can feel free to join me or just sit around like we're at the local McDonald's, just having a coffee and a hash brown together. But that's cool. So we try to reconcile or rationalize why would someone go through those great lengths to become that kind of skilled climber, or that kind of skilled astronaut, or that kind of skilled mathematician, or that kind of skilled guitar practitioner. Why would anyone do that? You know, why? And shape number 4. I think the asking the why, who, what, why, how, and where, those questions really, and if we do allow ourselves the time to absorb and be with our thoughts, that creates a readiness pattern for songwriters, right? And I'm just trying to look around for my my parlor guitar. I think I'm going to get that out for the last 5 minutes, so I might have to do some digging. I have one of a violin from John Jorgensen's. I don't know. Do you guys know who John Jorgensen is? Oh, he's like a gypsy jazz guitar player, where kind of Django left off. I mean, he's kind of he's a torchbearer, you know, great guitar player. I think he used to play with Elton John, maybe. Sir Elton John. And all right, let's go ahead and take a look at. What I'm trying to say is I'm gonna have to dig through some things. Oh, we've got to talk about some pick angle, you know, upward pick angle too. That's an important thing that we'll have to talk about that if we wanted to start really getting into speed technology, speed picking. Like the Paul Gilbert stuff, you know what I mean? Just those are fun things. Al Di Meola. Those are fun things to find out, fun techniques to find ourselves invested in. All right. The art chooses you, Raul. You always have. Your hammer always is dialed right in, man. Your hammer is always just sinks the nail in one swing. You've got a gift, my friend. Hey, Marlon. Marlon, good morning, Marlon. How have you been, my friend, old friend? It's great to see you. Deer Trail, yeah, we're seriously not coming back. And then on that note, I almost have no shrubs left in the front of the house, so I might not. We've got these deer that are coming by at 3:30, 4:30 in the morning, and they're just kind of like hammering on those shrubs. Let me just get this other guitar out. It's Friday, who cares, right? You can keep practicing, obviously, if you want, but I'm just going to grab this other guitar. Bear with me just for one moment. Uno segundo, por favor. I don't know if this is going to be a good thing to do right now or not. Hopefully it doesn't have any additional cracks in it. Hopefully it has Hopefully it's got a, oh, it looks like it's got a little dust on it. So this is cool. It's a sticker from a music school I had founded and directed. This guy worked, the guy who did the sticker for me, I like the old coffin case, right? The guy who did the sticker for me was an old student friend of mine, and probably one of the most industrious and one of the most productive students I've had. Easily one of the top 10, top 5 even. Oh, here we go. So here's an old V-neck. Look at that V-neck, how pronounced that sucker is. That's a lot of fun. I think I'll have to leave this out for a little while. Rosewood back and sides, Sitka top, solid. And there's some nice stuff going on here. And just kind of an old beater, you know. I don't think it's really a beater, really, but this is my equivalent of being like Willie Nelson, you know. Let's go ahead and just hear this guitar. And this is another part of the warm-up that I like to do. I also like to just see what I can do with chords. My dream is to, since 2023, I have 65 songs in a folder. 2025, I started a new folder. And I just started my 2026 folder and have 3 more songs in that. And my dream is to be recording and releasing music more frequently. That's my dream. I think that's a good dream. So let's go ahead and just take a look at what happens when we do something with a guitar like this, you know. It's Friday, you're more than welcome to stay. I might stay a few minutes late today. Hey, Funk, what's going on, Funk? B-E-A-H-S, yes. Rock the parlor, rockin' the parlor. Rockin' the parlor, bum ba da 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 dum bum 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 da dum dum. Good morning. When I get frustrated with the 6th string, I grab that bass. That bass is a great, great offer. You know what? I don't know. That's a good question. Let me get my micrometer out. Let me do that. That's a fair question. That's a great question because I don't know. And let me just take a quick. I don't know if we'll get close enough, what we call close enough. So let's go ahead and zero this out and see if we can get an accurate reading here. Oh, these are 11. Oh, I don't know. It says 10. Oh, that can't be right. Is that right? Why would I use 10s? Why would I have 10s on here? Yeah, they're 11s. So there are 11s, and 11 on the top, and if they're 11 on the top, I know what the bottom's going to be because they're Kurt Mangan strings, so they're 52s on the bottom, and so that makes sense. But I think I could put some 12s on this guitar, and it would probably benefit from that. And it certainly needs some attention, doesn't it? You wanted a reminder, Maniac Mondays, 1 hour practice. Got it, Mark. So here's what happens with this guitar chord right here, okay? So a guitar like this, I would typically play on this lap, right? And I'm going to play something like, I'm going to conform to the metronomic life because I still would like to have this be part of my warm-up. I use C with G in the bass, and then A minor. And I'll go ahead and probably do some finger picking. I'm not sure if Kevin's still on board. Did anybody see if Kev's still here? And then there's an F, and then there's a C with E in the bass, and then D minor, walking back up to F, and clever clips. And then here we and then C with E in the bass, and then D minor, and then I go back down to this, and usually kind of hang out with a couple of bars of G7, exploring alternate bass notes for the G7 chord, right? Such as G with B in the bass, and then G7 with F in the bass, G7 with, or G with D in the bass. Just kind of work through that, right? Just kind of get those fingers moving. And then I would also recommend, I'm going to recommend maybe a strap, and I'm trying to see if I have a strap here handy that is not far away. So in the other times I might just kind of use this as a picking sequence. roulette, watch the shoulder bounce. Man, you watch Steve play, my gosh, what a great performer he is. And I always thought this would be like a great sort of like a Larry Cordell style song where I know I've been playing this with my student friends for years as a way for us to kind of bridge the gap between playing rhythm and solo, and this is a great stomping ground or a great sort of schoolhouse for us to learn how to get up the wall, to climb that, you know, mankind's hill as it relates to, you know, bridging the gap between functional harmonic guitar playing and functional melodic guitar playing, and then not feeling like we're being left without if we decide as a soloist to move from one kind of playing, harmonic or chordal, into another kind of playing, which could leave the listener's ear unattended, you know. Yeah, and I think the guitar is a little low for me, so I would probably play this with a strap way up here, or try to, you know, alternate legs, you know, especially if I'm coming back to like fingerstyle. Now, Washburn released this 125th anniversary, right? So this, Washburn first released this guitar to sell through like mail order, right, to compete with Sears and Roebuck and C.F. Martin, right? And that was the beginning of really getting the guitars into the homes of the people, right? People who are going to play them, but we don't want a loud banjo all the time in the parlor. We have a smaller instrument that's sort of proportioned for the female frame, but really great fun to because you can play it and talk, have a conversation over it, right? That's the idea, you know. What I'd like to do is sort of start working on, you know, just adding, maybe extending some harmonies into the world of like sevens, you know, if I can. Especially on this, like, this F chord, because this F chord is really nice with a 9 in it, so F, open G, 3rd fret, D, and open G and fret 1 on the B. There we go. There we go, finally closer to being in tune. But then there's that 1, the 2, the 5, and then the 9 on the top, and it's just a hard voicing beat. See, Kevin. Happy picking. Yeah, so that's a good place to be. That set of chord changes just kind of works really well. I'm coming to the end. How was that? There we go. Yeah, it's definitely a different guitar, you know. So another thing that I like to try to do after listening to, I've been listening to and enjoying what is his name? Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran's music. His new album called Play is pretty amazing. A lot of different kinds of things there, you know. So I'll just think in terms of like, what if I'm not the guitar player? What would I compose for music, right? Different fun things to do with the guitar. So anyway, I'm out for today and we're way over, way over, and we're talking about warming up with the guitar. And today we worked through the 2-finger, the 3-finger, 4-finger permutations, did the diagonals, did all 5 of the pentatonic shapes. And then we just cut loose on a guitar that was unexpected. We just changed our guitar and it opened a completely new door, right? So we had that discussion earlier in the stream today. We talked about possibly getting our first acoustic guitar and how every guitar has its own song in it or its own songs in it. So if you're here and you made it this far, I really appreciate you sticking around. I really appreciate you being here because I really appreciate you being a guitar enthusiast or a guitar practitioner. I really believe that the world can use more guitar practitioners at the moment, right? Okay, and I know you probably understand what I'm talking about. So I hope you have a wonderful weekend and I hope you have a great time getting with your guitar, and I'm going to leave you to it. So until we meet again, oh, let's see. That chord progression put Dylan's Don't Think Twice in my, oh yeah, what a great tune. Great way to end the week. I will work on this during the bad weather this weekend. I heard that we're having some weather, and there's no bad weather, only bad clothing. Remember that. No bad weather, only bad clothing. Thank you for your time. I got a lot from this. Zumanji, thank you for being here. I appreciate you being here, and it looks like we're kind of phasing out. I see Lex. Lex is still here, kicking around. Way to go, man. Glad to see you here, and I hope you enjoy your guitar time today and over the weekend. Got a lot from it. I got a lot from it too. So until we meet again.